it's Rob here and welcome to the first of my build series videos on my new Tamiya XV-01T Chassis Asterion. First up, we're going to start with parts bag A, steps 1 to 6. So with that, we'll get straight on into step 1, which is making up the two oil-filled diffs. I've got all the parts laid out ready, so let's get straight into it and start building. It states here to fill the oil up with the hard oil. I'm assuming it's this one because this is the only oil you get with the kit, which is the hard silicon damper oil. And I think looking in the book, that's 900 weight, I think, possibly. So I'm going to stick this in, which is 1100 weight shock oil. It's a bit thicker, so hopefully it'll help stiffen the diff up a bit. Right, one thing I forgot here is we also need BA24, which is the gasket. And let's just crack on, eh? There are a few notes or so. One note is on for GV1 and GV2, telling you to remove the mould tree edges, which I've already done. Another note that tells you to fit the star shaft or the cross shaft into the slots. Another one telling you how to fill up the oil, to which point, and I think that's about it. So we'll get on with the tricky one first, I think, which is installing BA20 into the diff case. And it slides up. We get one of the O-rings, and slide it over. Then one of the shims, if you can pick it up. Yep. And that needs to go over. And then you need to find something to push it down. Like so. And I know you won't be able to see, but somewhere there is a hole going through the shaft of the BA20, and you need to line the hole up with one of these slots here so that you can fit this BA16 in. And if I pick one up, you need to try and pick it up somewhere centrally, and then you just need to wiggle around. There we go. Easy peasy. Once you've done that, you get one of the sun gears or the larger bevel gears, and you'll notice a reset cutout. So we just need to line that up and pop it over, and that should hold everything in place. And then we just need to repeat for the diff cover. that to one side till we've finished. And one of the good things with these oil-filled diffs is you don't need to get your fingers all greasy by greasing up these planetary gears first. You just stick them over. That's line it up with the slots and wiggle them about a bit till it sinks in, and then we just need to fill this up, which is easier said than done. I think that should do us. Might be a bit too much in there. And then what I'm going to do is, because this gasket is very fragile, I'm going to put the gasket over the cover, and then lining those bits up with the slots. Oops. There we go. And then using the 4 screws, we just need to screw that all in. Oh. And these are hex head screws, by the way. Come on, you could do it. So I'll finish the rest of those up and join you for the last bit. Okay, last couple of things to do is to put these bearings on. I've already done the one because they're a blooming tight fit, and it took me a while on the first diff that I did to get these on, and you sort of have to be more brutal with them than you kind of hope you'd have to be. There we go. So there's a diff with the bearings. Just need to pop these urethane bushes in and hope they stay in. And there we have 2 differentials made, and we can move on to step 2. Okay, step 2 is attaching the gear's front gearbox. And I think the first thing we'll do is we'll put the idler gear together. So we take hold of BA19, check which way round it's supposed to go, get BA15 and poke it through that hole there, and then get the idler gear and slot it over like so. One of NN4's spacer over there, and then one of the three BA13 840 bearings over there. That's the one end done. And the other end, we need just one of these to go down like there, and then another 840 bearing like so. Put that to one side and hope it stays together. And then we get BA18, and that should slot on like that. Bearing. And then on the other side we start off with BG3, the plastic shim or spacer, and there is a note for this one to remove the mould tab. Then we need BA9, which is the 5 by 0.2mm shim. Slide that on. Then we've got JJ7, and it says note direction, but I'm not sure from that, so I'm going to pop it on that way. I don't know whether how that makes a difference, to be perfectly honest. And then we've got the 1050 bearing to go over like so, and then we need this grease, which I've not had before, so it'll be interesting to see what this comes out like. Go. And then we just simply need to close it up. Like that. Right. Well, those edges don't seem to join up very well, so I think I'll take this apart off camera and go around with some grease or something, just have a check. But this one screw holds it together for now and goes in there, and we just need to tighten that up, and once I've done that we can move on to step 3. Step 3 is finishing off the front gearbox by installing the front differential. There's a couple of ways to do this, or there is an order to do this, that's the words I was looking for. And we start off here by putting the prop belt sprocket on. So orientate the idler gear. We need NN12 first. That should slide over like so. Then we need BA15. And this can be tricky, I believe. There we go. and then NN3, which I think possibly has to slip over NN12. Yeah, there we go. And then NN24, which will have to line up with that bar. There we go. Finally. And just the E-clip to put on. Something that doesn't go very well normally for me on camera. Well, there we go. One prop belt, pulley, sprocket installed, ready for the next stage. So the next step is installing the diff. So again, we need some grease, and checking the orientation. Looks like we go in that way with this Sheldondy type section, and it should just slot in hopefully. And then the cover will just go on over there, but before I do that, I think I'll go around with some AW grease again, and then we can move on to step 4. Step 4 is attaching the motor plate. There's a note here that tells you to use thread lock. However, there's another note here that tells you Tamiya aren't supplying thread lock in this kit, which I think is rather mean and nasty of them as far as I'm concerned, but good job, I happen to have my own, so there we go. We'll just get cracking. I think what I'm going to do is feed all these through part KK1. I think if we hold it like that, it goes through like so. And this piece goes something like that. And that's the first part. And then we need to fit KK2, and there's a note here that tells you to note the direction, and I believe it goes in between these two holes here, something like that. And then we use the 8mm screws. Whoops. Like that. And then I'll stick the other two on and we can swiftly move on to step 5. Step 5, attaching the spur gear. It should just go on like this, I believe. I haven't tried this, so we'll slip that over. And then need to get the bar. Oops. Come on, you can do it. There we go. I think that's in. Yes. There we go. Then we need to pop this over. And then we just need this piece. Like so. Which then lines up. And it's just a case of screwing the 4 screws in. So we'll do this and then we can move on to the last step of this video, step 6. So I'll be back shortly. The 6th and final step of this video is installing the motor, and there's a note here about setting it all up, allow clearance for gears to run smoothly, is what the note says. And then we'll get cracking straight on and we'll install the motor. It doesn't mention anything about a motor plate, so I think we'll just try and line stuff up. And we need the BA2s, the 8mm screws, one of the washers, let's try it this way seeing as I'm right-handed. There we go. That's that one in. And then I've already installed the grub screw, so we just need to find the flat of the motor shaft. There it is. Guide that over. Gently tighten it up a bit. Loosen these screws off. And then we can slide the motor up to adjust the position vertically, shall we say, of the pinion gear, so all the teeth, or every part of the teeth match, yep, or line up. So I'm happy with that, so I can give it a really good tighten, yep, and then we'll just Tighten it up to there for a minute just to check it. Yeah, that seems alright. I don't think it's too tight. So we'll nip that up. Another test. Yeah, seems alright to me. And then we just need to put this cover on, and I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but there's nothing on this diagram to denote that I should grease the pinion and spur gear, so I'm not gonna. That cover goes like so. It's not the best looking fit, so I think what I'll do is, off camera, I'm going to go around again with some anti-wear grease and then pop the two 6mm screws, one there and one there, and leave it at that. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this, and look forward to seeing you on the next one. Cheers, bye.